Money line number 6 is you can build wealth passively. Here's some reality. There's a lot of people out there that sell this whole idea that you can get rich without working hard. And they're catering to lazy people, and they're usually selling you a service that way they can get rich while you don't get anything. The reality is, if you want to build wealth, you need the right education. And part 1 to that is you got to work hard. If you don't work hard, if you're lazy, it's going to be impossible for you to really get anywhere. Then once you work hard, you got to understand that that's not the end. Because you have a lot of people that work hard, but never actually build any wealth. I mean, you can work 80 hours a week, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're not going to build wealth. So once you work hard, the next thing you got to do is work smart. What that means is now you work to make money, but now you're not spending all of your money. That way you have some money to invest, because now your money can make you money even when you're not making money. That's what working smart is all about. That way you can get paid when you're sleeping, you can get paid when you're on the beach, you can get paid when you're at work. That way you can double your efforts, because your money can work 24 hours a day, but you can't. But then, if you really want to build true wealth now, is you got to add a number 3, which is working in the right direction. This is that financial education of how do you actually invest your money to get the best returns, because there's a big difference in how much wealth you're going to build if you can grow your money by 3% a year versus 10% a year. And this is what that working in the right direction is. This is studying the financial trends, learning how to grow your money the right way, learning to see how you can see the most scalable growth, because sometimes people are trying to build wealth by climbing up a mountain with a 100-pound weight on their shoulders. But sometimes there are easier options if you just spend some time studying what's happening. That way you can see more growth. And this is all about working in the right direction. But it takes that financial education. Now, if you want some resources on how you can learn more about how to do this, obviously we're going over this on my workshop, but we have a free newsletter in my company Briefs Media called Market Briefs, where my team is breaking down what's happening in things like the financial markets. We break down the economy, the housing market, the stock market, crypto, and global economy into a fun, witty, and easy to read newsletter. If you want to join, it's completely free, and I got the link to how you can join down in the description below. And money line number 7 is you cannot become wealthy. This one is a little bit different than the other ones, because this one is more about your mindset rather than the actual numbers. And the reality is, you can be your biggest roadblock. If you have the technology to hear what I'm saying, and if you have the capacity to understand what I'm saying because you speak English and you know what I'm saying, well, you have the tools, you have the resources necessary to build wealth, period. Now what you need is the mindset, and there are 3 mindset things, mindset traits, 3 mantras, whatever people like to call them. There are 3 things you got to understand. Number 1 is that money is a tool. Number 2 is that I will become wealthy. And number 3 is that money is abundant. You have to believe these 3 things with your whole heart. That way now you can understand that you can and will become wealthy. Starting with money as a tool. Some people are so poor that all they have is money. Let me show you what I mean. I call this my quadrant fit theory. And my goal for you isn't just to have a big bank account. It's for you to have a fulfilled and happy life. Because what's the point of having a lot of money if you're miserable or if you're on your deathbed? So what I want you to understand is that if you want to live a happy and fulfilled life, there are 4 what I call fitnesses that you have to understand and master. Number 1 is you got to be physically fit. Because if you're morbidly obese, if you're on your deathbed, if you're unhealthy, all you want to do is be healthy. You don't care about how much money you have in the bank. You want to feel good. Second, you want to be mentally fit. Because if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're surrounded by toxic people, it is impossible for you to go out and really appreciate the value that money has. And what you'll think, or what a lot of people will think in this instance, is if I have more money, then I will be loved, I'll be happy, people will like me, people want to be my friend, then I'll be able to find my husband, my wife. But then when you get that money, you realize that that's not the case, and then you become even more depressed, even more anxious. If you are struggling with this mental fitness, get help, get counseling, listen to podcasts, listen to audiobooks on this. There are a lot of resources out there nowadays to learn, and maybe you got to cut out some toxic people in your life, because if there's a lot of people that are bringing that negativity in, you got to get out. Third is spiritually fit. This does not have to do with religion. This means, what is your purpose? What is the reason to get out of bed every single morning? If you woke up tomorrow and you had $10 million in the bank, what are you going to do? Maybe you go out and travel for a little while. Maybe you go out and just buy some fancy things. But eventually you're going to get tired of that. What is your reason for still wanting to get out of bed if you had all the money in the world? What would you do then? This is what your purpose is. What is your reason to get out of bed every single day? What is that spiritual fitness? Warren Buffett goes to work every single day, even though he has more money than he can even think about spending. It's because he loves doing what he does. What is your purpose? And this is where you got to be financially fit as well. People say, oh, money doesn't matter. You shouldn't stress about money. You shouldn't worry about money. Money is taboo. Money is evil and all these things. But the reality is it costs money to eat and it costs money to feed other people. You cannot pay your credit card bill with love, as much as people want to wish that they could. You pay your credit card bill with cash. You pay for your rent with money. You need money to eat, you need money to survive, you need money to pay for your wife's vacation, you need money to pay for your kids' college, you need money to do these things. So don't let somebody tell you that money doesn't matter. Because if you don't have money, guess what? Then what happens is you don't have the ability to eat healthy food. You don't have the ability to take care of your mental health. You don't have the ability to really find your purpose because all you're worried about is how can I pay the bills. Money is important, but it's not the only thing. And this is where I want you to understand that money is a tool. It just amplifies who you are. It gives you more fuel to do the things that you want to do, but it's not the only thing that matters. And this is where you got to understand how money plays a part in your life. But the second part to this is understanding that I will become wealthy. Not that you might, not that you can, but you will become wealthy. Because if you sit there and you tell yourself that somebody like me, somebody who grew up the way that I did, somebody with my parents, somebody with my background, somebody with my experience can't become wealthy, guess what? You're not going to become wealthy. You've already told yourself you're not going to. And if you told yourself you're not going to, I guarantee you're not going to become wealthy. And you got to change that negative mindset, because that negative mindset is stopping you from finding opportunities, because there are opportunities all around us. And in order for you to see it, your brain has to be able to actually visualize it. I'm not trying to talk about that woo-woo stuff and all that hippie stuff. I mean, seriously, there are financial opportunities around you today. But in order for you to see it, you have to believe that you can capitalize on opportunities. And the final part to this is understanding that money is abundant. Now, I'll start with the technical way to understand this, which is the Federal Reserve Bank, our central bank of the United States, has printed trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. There's a lot of money out there. All you need is a little sliver of that to really make an impact on your life. If you had an extra $1 million, well, that could really impact your life. But that's a very small amount of money in our circulation. But the reason why so many people get caught up with this is they get caught up in this mindset of, if I give you money, you get rich, I get broke. I stay poor, you get richer. And then you get this real scarcity-minded thinking. But if you want to start building wealth, you have to start building more of an abundance mindset and understand you can get rich and I can get rich. That there's enough money for both of us to have money. And there's a lot of different ways that this is going to play out. Because as you start building your financial education, you might want to start investing in your own financial education. You might want to start putting some money to learn. That might mean reading books. That might mean taking classes. That might mean getting coaching on certain things to help you grow your business, to help you grow your income, to help you grow your investments. But you're never going to want to actually take any action if you're always worried about what it's going to cost you, instead of looking at what you can get out of it. Because there's a lot of money in the world. And if you believe money is abundant, well, now you have the opportunity to find more abundance in your wealth as well. Now, of course, if you want some more resources, you can check out Market Briefs, or you can check out my free workshop on August 14th and 15th. Your credit score is not a measure of how much money you make, and it's definitely not a measure of how wealthy you're going to become. Your credit score shows how likely you are to pay back your debt. It's not even that accurate. Oh, did you just cancel a credit card? Well, now your credit score just dropped 45 points. You've only had a credit card for 3 years? Minus 61. You don't have any debt? You have a 0 credit score. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.